Okay, and welcome back. We are finally back. This is a new episode of the Saucy Boys podcast. I go by the name of Chaku,
Michael Stokes, baby. What's up?
and we're here.
We are.
This episode, we didn't have a Bevy, dedicated. So I decided to bust out something special, but Mike came through with the fucking
Cincoro, dog.
yeah. So
You know what I'm saying? It's a celebration. It's New Year. We missed New Year's with you guys. Miss Christmas and everything with you guys. So we got to ring in our New Year's. I'm not gonna say the three words because you're a moron if you say it after the second week of January. But you get the idea. And so I was like, let's go get MJ's tequila. So we're drinking tequila sunrises right now.
something special.
Yes, sir. We're tequila connoisseurs, so we tried them all. It was strange to me that we just haven't had Michael Jordan's yet. So now we've checked it off the list. We've been drinking it for a little bit.
Yeah, we already cracked into this, and I had made a statement that this shit would be funny if it smelled like Michael Jordan cologne. But yeah.
Oh man, funny time.
But man,
Michael Jordan cologne. Oh my goodness.
but since we've been gone, man, we just been kind of recentering and refocusing on things. Like life has been a little bit crazy.
Yes.
Just been trying to focus in a lot more on what we got going on and how we want to proceed throughout the rest of the year and just different things that we want to accomplish. And yeah.
And with that being said, the reason why we're doing this is because I don't know, we kind of had some realizations. Like we just want to be better when we do this. You know what I'm saying? And we can be better. But just in light of what's been happening or whatnot, it kind of like put stuff into perspective of how we should be treating things and taking them. Shit. Fuck. What was I about to say? I'm sorry. But yeah, that's basically the main point of us coming back and having the drinks and being all baller and everything right now.
Yeah. Oh, we're celebrating life.
Yes.
And reason being is in November, actually Thanksgiving Day, my grandfather passed away. So just dealing with that. And then on top of that, recently a couple of my mom's friends that I've known since I was a child, they actually just passed recently. So it's been a lot of very heavy-hearted stuff lately.
Yeah. Death is all around. Don't want to bring it down. Don't want to make it sad. But yeah, I lost my mother during the Christmas break of 2022 at the end of it. So it's been really tough. Honestly, I wanted to do this pod like 2 weeks after she passed. And I remember reaching out to you to do it. And we were set up. And then I think we both just decided it'd probably be best not to. And that was probably the best idea because I don't think I would have been able to get through this thing, on here.
I mean, because it takes some time, man. Everybody kind of navigates things differently. And I know for me personally, when it comes to these subjects, I really don't know how to respond. And I mean, I've had lots of loss, especially recently. And, whether it's friends, it's family, it's, it's always a hard thing. And some people can handle it very well, and they're just they're open to talking about it, they're open to just different things. And for me, it's just I kind of shut down. And I know for me personally, when my grandpa on my mom's side passed away a few years back, I just that was my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to tell anybody anything about it. I just wanted to kind of be in that moment and just remember all the good things. But whenever you have people constantly in your ear I'm sorry for your loss and I'm sorry for this and all that, it makes it hard because then all you do is think about damn, this person's gone.
Yeah.
And so anytime I have friends that have somebody that passed away, or that I just kind of let them kind of do their thing. So I don't know if I'm wrong or if I'm right for that, but like I said,
No.
we all deal with things in a different way. So,
But that's the point. Like we all have to find our way to grieve and get through these tough times
yeah,
when they happen. I know specifically for me, I've been at first I didn't like the sorry for your losses. I thought it was very hollow and fake. But then to me at the end, it was like a realization of just how many people my mom actually touched and actually knew her
yeah,
or whatnot. And so that's what really it blew my mind, especially at her celebration of life. How many people showed up for that thing? It was crazy. But with that being said, like for me, through this whole thing, I'm basically I'm a very cerebral person, as my mom would say. I think a lot on things, and so like I was thinking like similar to what you were saying was like how do other people deal with this? Because it's like when you get that news of losing someone, it is the worst news in the world, and it's like how the moments after that essentially are going to shape how you're going to be able to handle it. To me, it feels like, and so it's kind of like that in those moments. It's because you're in that shock, and like that shock lasts for like
and
feels like a fucking day.
dude. Time just moves so fucking slow.
It was, yeah.
For me, it did.
Yeah.
It moved very slow. Like every moment just seemed like
the day you hear it, it's the longest day. It's the worst day ever, and it's the longest day.
yeah.
But like the fact that we're sitting here talking, and it's about to be March, that's going on probably 4 months since I lost my mom.
Bro,
Just to think about that, because it still feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I just feel I think about so many people who like how many people out there who like got bad news like that and they just ended their life, or people who like this started like a downward spiral for them, and they're like they hit like a rock bottom, then had to bring themselves back. And it's like I if you think about, like, to me that's what I thought about, because I was just like, now I can see how easy it could be for either of those scenarios to happen. Because once you feel that pain, you're just like, fuck, like that shock. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now I understand all those people who went those routes, or if that were to happen. You know what I'm saying?
It's really hard to deal with. And then along with that, it's like I work in an industry where you meet so many people that are already dealing with, a lot of that offhand.
Yeah.
And so, just recently, I had a couple of friends from, the industry, and like really good friends, really good people. And they ended up passing away for, whatever reasons. But it's just like that shit. And it's like back to back. So when you have shit back to back like that, and then it's like you're still trying to live your daily shit, like this shit is hard. Because then on top of that, it's like we have social media, and there's just constant reminders, and so many people posting and tagging,
and you know what?
See all the notifications, and it's like, what the fuck?
For the longest time, I had a negative view on that so much, but I'm so thankful for something like Facebook right now.
Yeah,
because my mom treated Facebook like in her when she's alive, like it was just like, oh, my mom's always on Facebook, and now it's like, if ever I need like words of encouragement or something like that, I can go to her Facebook, and literally she's posted something for everything. And it's like I have this like 10-year long documentation of my mom that I can go to at any point in time and find something that will remind me of like a great time, remind me of something that if I'm feeling like really low about it. So now I got kind of have like this change of opinion in it, of like, fuck, man, like, it was like, how fucking mad I'd be right now if like Facebook went out of business tomorrow, and I couldn't. It's like now I'm like fucking appreciating that shit. It's crazy.
From that point of view, like, yeah, I see that. But like initially, like whenever, stuff does happen, it's just like you constantly see like, like RIP, RIP, RIP.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, just share a picture.
Yeah.
Like, or, or something that they said, or a video that they're in. Like, I don't really do well with the RIP things, because
me neither. I never did either, honestly.
Because like my uncle, when my grandpa passed away, like he typically likes to post, a lot of things, and just that side of the family. And so just like constantly seeing it, I'm like, man, fuck.
Yeah.
Like it makes it feel longer, and it's just like a constant. But I mean, now it's like you see stuff, and like you said, you get to look back and be like, oh, like I remember, this and this, and you get good memories from it. But I think just in that moment.
Yeah, in like in the main moment, I think when I got the news, there was like a moment in private when like I just was like scrolling her profile pictures, of course in tears or whatnot, but it was kind of like comforting in a way. But there is it's our way of connecting now and talking, and I realize like it's kind of like brought in my family. Of course it does. It's gonna change your family no matter what, but I feel like it's brought us closer together. And I don't even only mean just like me and my sisters. I mean like my extended family too, like my cousins and everything, like
people we haven't seen since you were like 10.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like when I think about that now, you kind of start thinking more about like legacy now.
Yeah.
And like your family and shit. And it's kind of funny and weird because we always like make fun of like Game of Thrones and shit like that, but it's just like, no, this is my fucking family. This is my fucking house. Like we gotta protect the house, yo.
Yeah,
we gotta our fucking house, dog. This house, Martin, motherfucker. Like we built. Don't fucking play with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I start thinking like that shit. Like that's crazy. Like
no bullshit, nigga. We might be related.
I mean,
because my dad his last name is Martin. So that's side of the family, and they got family here in Texas.
They got family in Philly.
Shit, they might.
Could be.
Hey,
could be. Your dad is the complexion of my dad and his siblings. I'm not even
connection.
So real. So that could be. We might have to trace the lineage.
Nigga, we might be cousins.
Nigga, all cousins.
You know what's crazy is Smino and
I know the name.
and Jid, the rappers.
Yeah.
They like just recently found out that they're fucking related. Like they're cousins. Yeah, this shit is wild. So hey, you nigga, you never know. But yeah, it really makes you think about, like you said, like you're rekindling those relationships with people that you haven't seen in like 10, 15 years. So it's like, okay, how do I get closer to them? Because, whenever I have kids or like me currently, my daughters, like I want them to meet them and meet their other family. And so that way, like they have people. So whenever, if, by chance I'm not here, it's like they have those options, like the family's strong. So
to me, it's definitely like that. Cause I immediately was like thinking like, I must have a kid sometime now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like things like that I just never really thought that much about because I was all like focused on, all right, I got to get my career together and all. I got to like figure me out, like, and all that shit. Like I immediately had that urge of like, I have to have a family. Yeah. Like it's a must now. Like I must have a family and I have to make sure that that my niece has like cousins and shit to be around for her.
Yeah, like they said,
whenever we're
like,
gone.
We need somebody to have your back.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like the fear that's like the craziest thing. That's like the fear that popped in my head was like I fear being the last one of my family alive. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want to be alone. And I was so thankful that I have two sisters because I was another thing that crossed my mind was like, I don't know how I could have handled this if I was an only child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you think about like the life of an only child is supposed to be like super privileged. You get everything and blah, blah, blah. But when your parents are gone, it's just you.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fucking terrifying to me. I'm not sorry if anybody's the only child out there. I'm sorry to paint a bleak picture of the future, but it's a thought that's definitely crossed my mind like that when I think about legacy and things.
It's like a mixed bag, you know what I'm saying? Like when I think about it, because I'm just like, where I'm at, it's like I have an older sister and I have two younger brothers, and I know that I'm gonna be long gone, before my brothers, because I mean we're like 10 years apart.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm probably gonna kick the bucket. But yeah, so like just knowing that there's like, okay, well, what do I leave them? You know what I'm saying? Or like, what do I leave? And I don't know. It's just it's a lot to think about. It's heavy because you don't want to leave anybody, and you don't want nobody to leave you.
Yeah.
And then so the way I'm thinking about it is like you being the only child. It's like you don't have to worry about leaving anybody, which sounds very fucked up.
Yeah.
And I hate that it sounds that way, but that's, that's just my thoughts when it comes to that shit. Because at the end of the day, it's like if you have family, any kind of family, you don't want to lose anybody.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose anybody. Like this just it's hard. Even really good friends, it's like you have your friend base, and I hate for this to sound very bleak and sad, but it's like when you get older, it's like you get to see a lot of your friends go, or you go before your friends.
Yeah.
And so it's just like nobody wants to see that.
It's silly and fun, but I remember being like younger and joking about like, who wants to live till they're 90? Like, that's horrible. Why would I want to, you know what I'm saying? Why would I want to be the only one left alive and can't move and do nothing like that?
Yeah.
Like, I used to like joke and say like, I hope something takes me out of my miseries in my 60s or some shit like that.
I always say that I'm not going to try skydiving until I'm 80. So that way, if my chute doesn't open, it's okay. Like I lived long enough, you know what I'm saying? But, but yeah,
it's interesting to put into when you just start thinking about legacy and everything and what your family, your cousins, and what y'all all mean, and like how y'all are all how we all are like our own houses, our own tribes of each other, and things, and it's the future is ours.
I think with social media it helps some of those people reconnect, but also like I think where it's at, like if you don't communicate with those people regular, like it isolates people because people don't necessarily want to make the trip.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
No,
and so for me, like
exactly what you mean.
For me, it's like whenever I started losing people, I'm just like we got to make the trip.
Yeah.
Like fuck, and I always hear people say this all the time. Oh, I see him on Facebook all the time, or I follow him on Instagram. It's like, no, we gotta like.
That's a mentality we got to get rid of. I had that mentality for my mom when it came to like the hospital. I never like thought the hospital was like something like severe growing up. No. And I remember I never wanted to go whenever she went and she had to do something like some type of surgery or something. But like as an adult, you think about like something can happen with the anesthesia or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why like people all like go, even if it is like a minor surgery and all that that you have to get. Yeah, and so like that was always like my mindset with it. When it came to fuck. What were you talking about?
Just like going to make the trip.
Yeah, making the trip
for people.
Like I mean, for that, and then like I'm sorry, to bring it all together. We made the trip last year, which is crazy because that was always a thing. Like we had started realizing that the only time the extended family gets together or something in like seems like the last like 15 years was when somebody had passed away.
Yeah.
And then last year we had made it like a big thing of like, we got to go to Abilene. We got to do our thing for Juneteenth for the family and all that. We have to be there. And we made the trip.
Yeah.
So that's like another one of those great memories that makes me feel good because there and tying this all together, because I did get a little rattled earlier. Sorry. Tying this all together while we were there, we had a moment where we took my mom to her mother's headstone. And, there was a moment where it was 4 generations of us, essentially, because my niece was there too.
Yeah.
And that is what I think of when I think of legacy. If I can tie that together and end that topic. Sorry. I had to, I closed that motherfucker off good. I fucking put the dot on that. But with that, my next topic, and this kind of comes up when, when death happens and everything, is the value of a picture. And I feel like I'm experiencing that now because I was always the person who, it's not like a macho thing or nothing. I don't care to be in pictures. I don't care to pose in pictures. Like that was my mentality forever. It's like, I hate this. I don't like, why we got to stop what the fuck we're doing.
Like, let's just keep it moving.
Pretend like we're happy, having the greatest time in the world and smile for a fucking picture. Like, I can't stand it. And then my mom passed and the craziest thing happened and I'm still looking. So this is tentative right now, but I don't have any pictures of me with my mom as an adult, and it fucked me up, man. Like, it really fucked me up. Sorry. And it's the idea of that, of like the most recent photo I have with her. I was in high school. It was senior night, and it's the picture of her on my phone right now, and so I'm kind of like rethinking like the picture thing now of like, why was I like that? Why did I always think that way? Why was I always like, this is stupid? Like, I can't do this. Is dumb. Like, why are we doing this? You know what I'm saying? And now it's like hitting me of like, this is why you got to take those pictures, man. This is why you got to, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're feeling, you got to stop and you got to just be like, okay, I'll take the picture.
Yeah.
Because now I'm in this place where I don't have a picture with my mom, but there is this other side of that coin where I have all these pictures she took of me from like the last couple years. And they're all like my favorite ones, man. You know?
Yeah. I think, like once we like start getting older and we kind of like get into our routines and like doing things, like we don't really think to take that time out. Because like you said, you think like, why am I doing this? Like, why is this important? And cause and thinking about it, like I've done it with my mom recently where like, she's like, oh, like, let me take a picture of you. And I'm just like, nah, like stop. And like, I get annoyed with it, but it's like now that, we talk about it, I'm just like, damn, like, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, same boat, man. Like, just gotta be like, take the picture.
Yeah.
But
just put that macho shit aside and just pose real quick, because you never know.
It's funny because like my thing is like, it's not about me taking the picture. It's like she gets pissed off that I never take like a serious picture.
Yeah.
Like I'll never like pose for a picture with her, smile. Like I always have to be doing some goofy shit. So like if you look at her like photos of me and like
picture.
all she posts is I'm just doing, and every picture like I'm just doing goofy shit. Like there's never a picture of me, like even my headshots that I took for
damn, you can't.
I'm picking my nose in the fucking headshot photo. Like it's black and white and it's supposed to look all elegant. Nigga, my hat's backwards and I got my finger in my nose. Like,
I was looking at some old pictures on my old Instagram, and it was like me, you, and some other people at like Rebar, and like you're all like doing like weird faces.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's all I can do.
You couldn't even just chuck the deuce. Like we was just chucking up deuces, and you're just in the back doing your own thing,
doing goofy shit. This goofy ass nigga. And then like my thing now is like whenever I take pictures, all I do is this. I just put my hand in front of my face. And
I was gonna ask you about that because on that promo picture you got, it's always just you like that.
Yeah.
And I was gonna ask
see, and I don't want people to be like, oh, it's Illuminati. Like nigga, it's not. I'm just holding up the peace sign. It's
those are rabbit horns.
Yeah, like somebody's gonna be
ears.
like, oh, he's fucking. Don't. It's nothing. I'm just throwing up the peace sign. That's all I'm doing. But yeah, no, like I definitely get that, now. And even with my grandpa, like before, he passed, it's just like there's hardly any pictures of us together when, I was older. It's like all younger. It's like all shit from like photo albums and stuff like that. Because we get to a point where once we step away from our families and like we're living on our own, we don't have time for it. Like we're too busy.
There's the song, like the most depressing song in the world. It's called "Cats in the Cradle." You've heard it. Everyone's heard it. It's you've heard the song. It's really depressing, but essentially the song is just telling the story about like a man wanting to a man trying to raise his son, but he never has time to be there for him. Mm-hmm. And then when the son grows up, he tries to like, be in his kid's life, and his son has like a family of his own now, and he's like, I don't have time no more. Yeah, kinda. And it's a really depressing song, but people love it. But yeah, it's that right there, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, the most important thing I can say from like this whole conversation that we've had, about this topic, is that, one, like make the trip.
Make the trip
and take the pic.
Make the trip.
Make the trip and take the pic.
That's perfect, man. You never know the value. That's what I was gonna say. The value of that picture. It will never have like a real value in that moment, but in a year, you don't know what that picture will mean to you.
Yeah.
2 years, 5, 10. You have no clue what that photo will mean to you. So that's why it's always, make the trip and take the pic. Take the pic, man. And that's really all I wanted to say. I think we did pretty good on that.
Yeah. So I will say, even though this episode has been brief, I like, where we ended. So I'm going to keep it at that. So with that being said, we'll catch y'all on the next episode. Y'all be safe.
Later. Take
Peace.
care.